Silicon Valley's favorite propagandist, Mark Zuckerberg, faced a dog and pony show filled with virtue signaling House Financial Services Committee members yesterday to show everybody just how much political parasites care about the American people and keeping them safe from propaganda. Because the government hates competition. The $174,000 a year corporate employees of the Title 28, Section 3002 15A federal corporation known as the United States, the very ones who don't mind shoving government propaganda down our throats, didn't mind flaunting their hypocrisy as they faux-grilled Mark Zuckerberg as the cameras caught the action. The overall message in this committee was clear. We don't trust you, Mark, but we want you to be involved in moderating what goes out to the public for general consumption. See, even though Facebook might as well be called Fedbook, people still use Zuckerberg's platform to spread free market ideas of freedom and self-sustainability. And that spells competition for the government. And if it's one thing we know, the government's good at eliminating its competition. What the parasitic political shills were saying to Zuck is, we don't want you to just be an open source platform, which they're not and haven't been for a long time. We don't want you to just be a platform at all. We want you to be an editorial platform, curating and moderating what we all see. Basically, they were all calling for the cancer of Silicon Valley censorship to blanket the world even more. Here's proud socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's scripted bit for the Zuck Man.
You announced recently that the official policy of Facebook now allows politicians to pay to spread disinformation in 2020 elections and in the future.
Before I continue, I hope everybody's noticing that every politician has pulled out all the stops in order to safeguard these sacred elections. That fictitious concept that, if it crumbled to dust, would free people's minds from the bondage of government propaganda. We need to all realize that the ridiculous delusion that elections somehow make us free is something we need to ditch if we're going to advance as people. Elections don't make you free at all. They do the exact opposite. They keep us in bondage as happy slaves on the banker plantation while we believe ourselves to be free because they've given us permission to vote for a new slave master once in the course of years. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they're free. And none think they're more free than those who believe the lie that their vote has power to affect their freedom. Anyway, back to Cortez smokescreen grilling.
So I just want to know how far I can push this in the next year. Under your policy, using census data as well, could I pay to target predominantly black zip codes and advertise them the incorrect election date?
What AOC just implied here, guys, is huge, and nobody's covering it. And keep in mind, thought and planning went into this question. These corporate employees like AOC intentionally formulate and write down their questions for these hearings. She literally implied that black people are so inept that they would actually believe an ad coming from Facebook without having the wherewithal to get on the internet and easily verify something as simple as finding an election date. Imagine if a white male Republican asked this same question. The Washington Compost and the New York Slimes would be all over this, placing it as front page news and demanding that the white guy apologize for implying that black people don't have enough common sense to keep themselves from being taken in by an ad on Facebook and showing up at a polling place on the wrong date. I always knew you were a little racist there, AOC. Don't! But aren't all socialists racist?
No, Congresswoman, you couldn't. We have, even for these policies around the newsworthiness of content that politicians say and the general principle that I believe that...
But you said you're not going to fact check my ads.
We have, if anyone, including a politician, is saying things that that is calling for violence or could risk imminent physical harm or voter or census suppression when we roll out the census suppression policy, we will take that content down.
What the federally subsidized Ministry of Truth just said here is a flat out lie. I can't even tell you how many times I and others that I personally know have been placed in Facebook jail just for putting out memes based on logic and truth and simply asking questions. Entire pages have been terminated out of existence because Facebook is in the business of censoring what people see. And make no mistake, that's what AOC is calling for here, censorship.
So there is some threshold where you will fact check political advertisements.
By the way, AOC's application of the term fact check is just a euphemism for censor. She's calling for censorship.
Is that what you're telling me?
Well, Congresswoman, yes, for specific things like that, where there's imminent risk of harm.
Could I run ads targeting Republicans in primaries saying that they voted for the Green New Deal?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Would I be able to run advertisements on Facebook targeting Republicans in primaries saying that they voted for the Green New Deal? I mean, if you're not fact-checking political advertisements, I'm just trying to understand the bounds here. What's fair game?
This should make the Dog and Pony Show really clear. This guy is a multi-billionaire. Why doesn't he just say, hey, you can publish anything you want on our site? We're like the phone company. We're not responsible for what you say and post. But he can't because they're not. They are a censorship-friendly editorial platform. And that's what makes this such a smokescreen meeting.
I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I think
so. You don't know if I'll be able to do that.
I think probably.
Do you see a potential problem here with a complete lack of fact-checking on political advertisements?
Well, Congresswoman, I think lying is bad, and I think if you were to run an ad that had a lie, that would be bad. That's different from it being, in our position, the right thing to do to prevent your constituents or people in an election from seeing that you had lied.
That's actually a good answer. The only problem is that's not how he's been operating his platform.
So you won't take down lies or you will take down lies? I think it's just a pretty simple yes or no.
Who exactly would determine what's a lie and what isn't? How about a question for you, AOC? So, you want Zuckerberg to be in control of making that determination? Yes or no?
Congresswoman,
I'm not talking about spin. I'm talking about actual
yes, in most cases,
disinformation.
in a democracy,
Okay.
I believe that people should be able to see for themselves what politicians that they may or may not vote for
So
are
you
saying,
won't
and
take
judge
them
their
down.
character for themselves.
Another good answer by Zuckerberg. The only problem is he's lying.
So you may flag that it's wrong, but you won't take it down.
Look at this little socialist. She's almost foaming at the mouth as she pushes for more censorship. Socialists love censorship.
Congresswoman, it depends on the context that it shows up. Organic post, ads, the treatment is a little bit different.
One more question. In your ongoing dinner parties with far-right figures, some of who advance the conspiracy theory that white supremacy is a hoax, did you discuss so-called social media bias against conservatives, and do you believe there is a bias?
Congresswoman, so I don't remember everything that was in the question.
That's all right. I'll move on. Can you explain why you've named the Daily Caller, a publication well-documented with ties to white supremacists, as an official fact-checker for Facebook?
What she just did in the House Financial Services Committee is promote the very disinformation she's asking Zuckerberg to censor on his platform. And it's very telling that not one AOC zombie channel like the Young Turks or any socialist corporate media outlet like the Communist News Network or MSLSD have exposed this line of questioning for what it really is. A call to censor not only America, but the world through Facebook. Please help me fight YouTube censorship and suppression by liking and sharing this video everywhere you can on social media. And leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. And I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. Before you go, check out our new shirt designs in the shirt store. Here's the Beta Hates America design. Hell no, you're not taking my AR-15. And nobody needs an AR-15. Well, nobody needs a whiny little bitch either. And yet, here you are. And against all enemies, Democrat and Republican. There are over 90 other kick-ass designs in the store and the links in the description. Your purchase supports the message of freedom on this channel. If you get something out of this content, help me beat YouTube's censorship algorithms by liking and sharing this video. And while you're here, why not watch a couple more of my videos? Until next time, stand firm, stay vigilant, and for the sake of all that is right and good, stop giving your rights away to tyrannical psychopaths who want to destroy this country.